Hello and thank you for watching my video. My name is Astrit Krasniqi. I am Cisco CCNA, CCNP and Palo Alto Firewall certified instructor. On this video, we are going to explore basics of regular expressions. I mean basics because regular expression can become very complicated. Regular expressions, or RegEx for short, is a pattern of symbols that we use and to describe the data to be matched in a query. Something that we have, for example, even if you have a long log files, we give a pattern that we want to match to extract something, just specific something. RegEx is very powerful and very useful query operation that helps us extract some information from the text, such as a code or long log files, spreadsheets, or even a document. You can as well use the RegEx if you want to find some application inside or files inside your PC. For you who are studying for any Cisco exam or Palo Alto, definitely you have to know or you have to be familiar with the regular expressions, especially if you are studying BGP. There we use a regular expression quite a lot. So when you get to know RegEx, how it works and usefulness, you're going to love it. But lots of people, they don't want to learn it, right? They rather just sit there, look at the long log files, trying to find a specific pattern. It's so much easier if you use regular expression. So upon completion of this lesson, you should be able to describe regular expressions, use regular expressions to match basic patterns, describe RegEx metacharacters, and practice regular expression using regex101.com website. So best way to practice with regular expression is to use a website called RegEx101. So if I go there, www.regex101.com. In this website, it allows you to populate it with a different text here that you can use it to match the string. So if you enter the expression here, that's going to match any text you enter here. I already have some text made up, so for regular expression that we're going to be using, not maybe all of it, but we're going to be using this. I will make sure that it's available for you as well. So I'll put all this text in the video description so you can use it as well, or you might as well just create your own one and then start practicing. I have also created this table of meta characters and their meanings that we are going to use it in our lessons. Okay, so we're going to be using a regular expression website and our table, meta characters table. So if I just arrange this, I'll put the website on the left and the characters on the right here so we can see it. And I'm also going to populate our the text string there. So just copy that and I'm going to put it in our regular expression here. Okay, so here I have some text I want to match. Right, just imagine that there could be like tons of text here available. So I'm going to match something. So the first meta character that we're going to be using is called caret. Is this one here, caret. So we use caret meta characters if we want to match a pattern that begins with the information we provide. Now, if you imagine that we want to match everything that starts with the character Jan, or characters Jan, so capital Jan, capital J, A-N. You want to remember that everything is just the characters. So in uppercase and lowercase characters, they will be treated differently. Okay, so if I say, for example, I want to match everything that starts with, so if you want to match something that starts with, you're always going to put the caret sign on the beginning. So I want to match something that starts with, and you can see that it goes like here, the purple screen, like a line. We're matching something to start with. So say capital J, A-N. Now we matched 3 matches. So 3 strings, they start with capital J, A-N. So he has ignored everything else, right? Now he has matched only 3 characters. Now just imagine that I want to match everything that starts with number 6. So I'll just put 6 there. Now it's going to go through and it's going to tell us what any string that starts with number 6. For example, it has matched 4 matches here. So we have this line here starts at 6. This line here starts at 6. This here and this one here starts at 6. All 4 of them, they do start with 6. Now, if you want to imagine that, for example, we want to match everything that starts with the first letter that we are not sure. So we don't really know what's the first letter, but the second and third letter, they start with Jan. We will use another meta character, which is a dot. This will check for a single character, which is not ending of a line. So dot will actually check anything. It doesn't really matter. It's like not showing us what are we matching. It's like a wildcard. Match anything, right? So for example, like again, say I put here, I don't know the first letter. So you can see that now it has matched everything. Everything is gone in the blue. And I can say, okay, well, the second letter is A and third letter is N, so Jan. Or maybe the second letter is U and third letter is N. So you match June, both of June. And maybe the second letter is E, right? So now you can see that he has matched the February, he's matched September, because the first letter we said, okay, we don't know what it is. And second letter we said E, so that's why he matched. So say for example, the first letter, we don't know what it is. The second letter, I don't know what it is. But the third letter, it's say 3. Now he has matched anything that starts with, doesn't matter what the first 2 letters, is a wildcard. And then we say it starts, this matched this one. The third letter is 3, or character, and it hasn't matched anything else, right? Okay, so dot is like a wildcard. You can use it for anything, yeah? So it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we use 2 meta characters. We use something that starts with, a pattern that starts with, we use the caret. And the dot, that is like a wildcard. You can match anything, any character. Okay, now I want you to imagine that we want to match something that starts, like in our log files, that are in January 10th or January the 16th. So those 2 dates we are very important. Now, for example, on this case, we're going to be using 3 meta characters. We're going to use something that starts with, and we're going to use, for example, because we have 2 dates that we're not sure, is it 16th or is it 10th? We're going to put it in parentheses. So check for string, create a store a variable. So we're going to give a variable of 10, and then or, which is logical or here. It's a pipe symbol, and we're going to say 16. So our regular expression will be, I want you to match something that starts in January, space. Then we use a parenthesis, and then we have to open and close them. Well, in there we have 2 variables which we don't know about it. We say, for example, 10th or pipe 16th. Now I don't have anything on the 10th, and that was okay. I can create it very quickly something here. So for example, let me just create it here. This is a great thing about using the notepad. You can create your own ones, and you see, does it match? So for example, 10th here, that's a match. If I for example say, so for example, change this as well to January the 10th. As you can see, that's a match as well, because that's what we're doing. We are matching anything that starts with Jan space, and it's either 10 or 16. So I got 16 here, there's a match, and I just created 2 10s, they are a match as well. Next, I want you to imagine that we don't want to match something. We want to negate something. Example, we don't want to match something that starts with a pattern that we give. For example, we don't want to match Jan. So imagine that we don't want to match any entries that starts with Jan, but we want to match anything that starts with J. So for example, June, July, anything will be fine, but not as long as it's not Jan. So we use another meta character here. So I'm going to clear the screen just to make it a bit more. We can use the square brackets here. So square brackets checks for any single characters in the any single character in the character set specified in the square brackets. So like what we said, we don't want to match Jan, but we do want to match anything that starts with J, right? So I'll say J, I want to match that, and I'll put the square bracket, and then caret, and then Jan. So as you can see, it has matched June, because June starts with J, but it has ignored everything that starts with Jan. So it has ignored this, it has ignored this that I just created, and it has ignored these three. So anything that starts with J is fine, as long as it's not Jan. So that's if you want to negate something. So you put the caret inside the square brackets. Now we're going to use again the dot. Now I want to show you that, for example, we want to match anything that was created, any log file, for example, that was created in January at 6 o'clock, right? So last January or this January, whatever you want, you can even put the date, the year there. That was created in January, but at 6 o'clock, right? So we're going to be using dot again, right? So let me just go here and change it. So I want to match anything that starts with January, right? And then I'll put the space. I can put a dot there. That's for the space, and 2 dots for the date, another dot for the space as well. And then I'll put the time, because usually you see the time comes after it, right? But I want them at 6 o'clock. So 18. That says, okay, well, I want you to match everything that was generated in January. Doesn't matter the dates, as long as 6 o'clock, right? But for example, imagine that you have a dot somewhere, right? I have a node created. Let me just change to one of them and say this is a dot, and there's a let's say that's a dot as well. So I just created 2 entries with a dot, and I want to match that dot, right? So it's like if I put a dot, that matches everything, yeah. So if, for example, let me put it back. Okay, so if I put a dot there, that just matches everything. But I don't want to match everything. I want to actually match this dot here and this dot here. What we're gonna be needing another meta character, and this meta character is called escaping character. Escaping character escapes from the normal way a subsequent character is interpreted. So for example, if we want to match that dot, if we just put dot, that matches everything, yeah? So I need to put the escaping character. And you see that matches only the 2 dots, right? Again, say that we do want to match a number, anything well, any entry that has a number. It doesn't matter what number. I mean, you can see that all entries here will have a number. It's going to match all of them, right? But escaping character D, that matches numbers, any numbers. So these are another meta character with escaping D will match a number. Escaping character, we will use it if anytime it does not conflict with the normal characters. Now imagine that we want to find all logs that were we're going to be using next meta character, and that's the next meta character here we're going to be using is a $sign. Now with the $sign, this is going to be it's going to match the end of the line. So for example, if you want to match anything that finishes with word warning, right? So I'm going to need to buy it, because if I put warning here, it's going to match that, right? Those are the end bit here. But for example, say that in this one I do write something, yeah, and in this one I write something. I don't want to match something that it's in the middle, the warning in the middle, the word. I want to match the warning that ends with the word warning. And in that case, I'll put the $sign. So for example, here I'll put a $sign, and that's just going to go and find anything that ends with the word warning. Not if the warning word appears in the middle somewhere. I wanted to match something that ends with the word warning, and for that case, I will put a $sign to match those. Now, if you imagine that we want to match some numbers, but we're not very sure if they're going to appear in our log files. But they might appear once, or they might appear more than once, right? So we're not very sure. So that we're going to use another meta character that says it doesn't have to be one. It can be any number or any character. So we use a question mark. Question mark checks for 0 or 1 occurrences of the preceding character. So we want to match something that with a 1, 2. The numbers say there's a 1, 2, but I'm not sure if 1 is going to appear once or more. Because we said that, now it's matching everything that 1 is there or not there. So for example, it's matching here these numbers. It says, well, 1 is not there, but it doesn't matter. It's saying the 1, it could be there or it could not be there. It doesn't, I'm not sure. Or it could be 1, or it could be more than 1 time, or just 0 times. So here doesn't appear, but it's fine. It's matching those. It's also matching these because the 1, it does appear there, and it's matching that. And then if I go down, if I keep going down, let me see if there's anything else. Right. Okay. It has matched nothing else. It just matched the 2s. But I want you to imagine, for example, let me just write to change one of them. For example, I'm going to change it to 1, 1, 1, 2. Does that match? This is, oh yeah, well there's a match there. That's a match, 1 and 2 there. If I say just 1 and a question mark, then it's going to match anything that says, well, 1 can be there or it might not be there. Now it's matching everything. If I want to make sure the number 1 is there, right? But it could be more than 1, right? So now I will use another meta character, which is a plus sign. So plus sign will check for 1 or more occurrences of the preceding character. Now the difference between them two, question mark and the plus sign. If you put question mark, it means that it could be there, but if it's not there, it's fine. If I put plus, it means that it has to be there, right? So when I put a plus there, for example, it's going to match anything that starts with 1. One has to be there. So let me just delete these. Right, get rid of them. Now you can see that it has matched all the ones. One's there. You see it says 1 or more. So it has matched this because there's 4 ones there. A 1 there, and so on. Now if I put the number, for example, 1 and 2, like before, but this time it's a plus. So now you see it's not matching like before. It was matching these, yeah? It was matching, but it's not matching anymore because we are saying 1 has to be there. It could be more than once, but 1 has to be there, and it has to follow by number 2. So you can see it's matching this one here, it's matching this one here, and it's matching this one that we just created. See there, it's matching like 3 ones and then 2 as well. Because we're saying the 1 can be there, but we don't know how many times it's going to be there. It might be once, or it might be more than that, but it has to be there. But if you put a question mark, it says, well, maybe it's there, maybe it's not there. Now another meta character that we're going to be using is exclamation symbol. Now exclamation symbol, which is this one here, is a logical not character. What we can use is, for example, just imagine that we want to find January's entries from our log files, but not from date 17, right? So we want to find out everything that came up in January, but not on the 17th. Okay, fair enough. So that's what we're going to be using. Now our regular expression for this would be, for example, I want to match anything that starts in January, so January, and then, for example, open the parentheses and then open it again. So we need to open it twice, and then put a question mark and put exclamation mark 7, close the first parenthesis, dot, close it. Now what we're saying is we want to match everything. You can see that with the regular expression they can start getting more and more complicated, but you really need to know for just basics for your CCNA and CCNP really, and Palo Alto really exams, just basics here. So with this, what we're saying is we want to match anything on the January that starts with January and the 10th, but not January 17th. So it's ignored this one, but it's left the 16th, the 10th here, January 10th, and January 10th here as well. Now the last meta character that we're going to be talking about is the curly brackets. Now with the curly brackets is what we do is repeating preceding characters. So the curly brackets are general repetition quantifiers. They specify the minimum and maximum numbers of patterns matches. So for example, if you want to match number 1, say we don't really know if number 1 is going to appear 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times, we can use the curly brackets. Now, but we don't want to match any entry that has just once, appearing just once. For example, we don't want to match this entry here, because that's just a 1 there. But we do want to match this one here because there's 4 ones. And we also want to match this one here, has a 2 ones. And we also want to match this one here because it has 3 ones. So we want to match anything, any entry that has number 1 character that appears twice, 3 times, or 4 times, not just single ones. Yeah. So I'll put 1 here, and then I'll start the curly brackets, and then 2 to 4, and I'll close my curly brackets. As you can see now, it has matched 5 times. It has matched this because it's got 4. This one has got 2, 2, 3. But it has ignored everything that has just 1 there, right? And down here it's got 1 with 2, and it's matched. Now, if I, for example, want to match anything that is number 1 has to appear 3 times or 4. So as you can see there, 3 times and 4 times, but it's ignored the 2s. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. This concludes of your basics regular expression lesson, and you should be able to describe regular expressions, use regular expression to match basic patterns, describe these regular expression meta characters, and use that website that we've been using to practice regular expression. I mean, you can get yourself creative and all that, yeah, but this is the basics of regular expression. Thank you very much for watching my video. My name is Astrit Krasniqi, CCNA, CCNP, and Palo Alto certified instructor. Till next video, bye bye.